Hey, I don't want to fight Mexican is because I represent Mexico.
I feel like Canelo's a fucking pussy.
Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo.
David Benavidez, the unbeaten Mexican star, has left no doubt about what he wants to achieve.
Feared fighter in boxing. Ever see Julio Cesar Chavez in his prime? I'm talking about the daddy. I'm talking about one of the greatest fighters ever. This guy is the closest thing I have seen to a big Julio Cesar Chavez. David, I'm not putting the Chavez thing on you. I'm just saying, you're the closest thing I've seen to a big dude who fights like that. Oh, Canelo's ducking him. This dude's a monster. And I looked and I thought, am I right or wrong about that?
No, you're definitely right. You know, you're looking at a man that's not going to let anything outside the ring, you know, mess with his game. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not scared of nothing. You know, I accept and I invite war. You know, so if that's what the people of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia want to see, well, let's give it to them. I think everybody is starting to see that I'm fearless, I'm relentless, and I'll fight anybody to get my respect in the ring.
After Canelo Alvarez was defeated by Terence Crawford, he spoke out with confidence, not only asking for a fight but also declaring that Canelo was afraid. For years, Canelo has stayed away from facing one particular rival.
He was talking about how he didn't want to give David Benavidez the fight because he was being disrespectful.
When you look at the history of Canelo, all the fighters that was disrespectful, calling them out, and he fought all of them. But I just think from a Mexican standpoint, one being extra disrespectful towards the other, he took the sport out of it, and he just felt as if he wasn't going to give Benavidez the payday that he...
Benavidez is prepared to settle things once and reclaim his spot at the top. After Canelo's tough loss to Terence Crawford, that challenge can no longer be ignored. Recently, the boxing world was stunned when Crawford, the undisputed welterweight king, moved up in weight and proved that Canelo Alvarez could be beaten. It wasn't just a loss, it was a dominant performance that dented the Mexican icon's legendary reputation. Even seasoned trainers like Ronnie Shields have suggested that Canelo may already be past his peak.
He got that. And I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo.
While Oscar de la Hoya pointed out where Canelo fell short, this fight was far more than just another contest. It became a turning point that opened the door to a long-anticipated showdown. In an exclusive talk with Inside the Ring, David Benavidez praised Crawford's historic victory. He congratulated him, noting that very few fighters have ever achieved what Crawford did. Benavidez stressed that Crawford deserves a place on boxing's Mount Rushmore for moving up 3 divisions and becoming the undisputed super middleweight champion. He also said, Crawford isn't just a great fighter, that fight proved his heart, showing that other boxers can learn from his determination.
He's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of his generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, man, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but as take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terence.
Well before Crawford's dominant win, David Benavidez had been relentlessly chasing Canelo, always looming in the super middleweight division.
WBC belts right here. I'm the best in the division. If they want to give me an opportunity now or later, I'm gonna keep winning. You know, like I said, I'm gonna be the greatest of my generation by the time I'm done, and my job is not complete until I make that happen. For Canelo and everybody else, it just shows everybody I'm not f***ing around. I'm here to stay. I just look at the facts. You know, the people want to see this fight more than Carlos Adames and Charlo. You know, that's why that fight hasn't happened. But for me and Canelo, we have motion. You know what I mean? I've been winning the fights I'm supposed to win in fantastic fashion. He has nobody else to fight. You know what I mean? So if they want to give it to me now, later, whenever, I'm not going.
4 years, Benavidez, a 2-time WBC champion with a flawless record of 30 victories, no defeats and 25 knockouts, carried the interim title, positioning himself as the biggest danger to Canelo's dominant run.
Like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram.
Right.
If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled to it. From what the WBC told me, they say you win the title limiter, we'll give you a title shot. You win the WBC interim title, we'll give you a title shot. I've been in this position for 3 years. So just because Canelo, he could do what he wants, as he says,
right.
He's not going to fight the top competition. And he's holding all those belts hostage, bro. And it's not like you got other great fighters too. You got me and David Morrell's there. Yeah. How is it fair that these sanctioning bodies let him pick and choose who he wants to fight? And then the Canelo fans too that be talking shit, bro. Like, do you guys not want to see the best fights?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I'm just trying to make the best fights happen. And that's it. At the end of the day, I just want to give the fans what they want to see.
This wasn't just talk, it was real. Reports revealed a massive $70 million offer made to Canelo for the fight. Benavidez confirmed it, stating he was guaranteed $5 million if the matchup took place.
I've heard everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for $150 million or $200 million to fight me, but he still has the nerve to say that I don't bring nothing to the table. So if I didn't bring nothing to the table, why are you asking for more money than you won in your whole career if I don't mean anything? Maybe after he gets that money, he could buy himself a pair of balls.
What I wanted to tell you guys too, I mean, this guy, he's making the most money out of everybody. He's charging you guys so much for the pay-per-views. It's like he's spitting in your guys' face, saying that he doesn't give a f what you guys want. He's not going to give you the best fights. He's going to fight the fights that he wants. In my opinion, that's a little bit disrespectful to the fans, but he has cult-like fans that, you know, they don't tell him shit and they're happy with whatever he does. But at the end of the day, if you hold all the titles, you got to fight the best in the division. I'm #1 in the division, #1 contender. The second one is David Morrell. He's not fighting me, nor he's not fighting David Morrell. So it makes no sense. How is he going to call himself the champion and have all these belts if he doesn't fight the #1 or the #2 guys? He's asking $200 million. Why, when they bring my name up with him, that's the most money he's going to make. When he fought Amir Khan, he outweighed him at like 25 pounds. But, you know, I think it's just he's running out of excuses and running out of things to say, but that's just how it is. I guess that's when you're.
But after Benavidez accepted, everything went quiet. No replies, no talks, just total silence. This wasn't some untested fighter making noise. Benavidez had proven himself in the ring. His last 2 big wins cemented that. First, he overpowered Caleb Plant in a fiery rivalry matchup. Then he completely dismantled the unbeaten and talented Demetrius, leaving his corner with no choice but to stop the fight.
With both guys, Canelo, Benvidez, if they fought, which I don't think they're going to fight no time soon, who you think will win?
Man, that's hard to say. I think both have pros and cons. You know, I feel like the things that Canelo does better than David. There's things that David does better than Canelo. In a way, I'm not comparing it to this fight, but it's like the better be of Bivol fight. You can say who you think is going to win. You can't say like, oh man, I'm surprised that Bivol won, or I'm surprised that Better Be of won. You're like, man, that's a damn good fight. So-and-so won. So kind of how I feel about the David and Canelo fight, like who had the best camp, who has the best game plan, who slept the best the night before.
And it's not much that separates guys at that level.
If David can get on him with his combinations and not give him room to breathe, then, you know, that's probably a night that David gets his hand raised. You know, if Canelo is able to slow the pace down a little bit and catch him with a big shot, David's been dropped before from an off-balance shot. He wasn't really hurt, but, you know, would you be surprised if Canelo stopped him? You know, no. So it's hard to say.
He looked back on his journey and said, "Since I was 3, my only goal and dream has been to become the greatest boxer ever, and that's exactly what I intend to do." He shared that this ambition is what pushes him to chase the biggest names in boxing.
The one that's going to chase all of them. Like, these guys are monsters, but this is the monsters.
You're looking at the fighter who's coming for every one of them. They're tough, but I'm operating on a different level.
David Benavidez, once this fight is done, is that a fight that you can see happening before the end of your career?
Look, I I never say no to anything. We'll see later. But I'm focused 100% on this fight.
Ability, or you just go one at a time and you also speak with your team?
Yeah, I go one at a time, but you know, every is a possibility. Always.
Right.
But I've been in this position my whole life. One was Austin Throne in 2012, 11. Then Mayweather, then Lara, then Cotto, then Callum Smith, then Golovkin, and then if I beat Benavidez, it's gonna be other guy there they want me to fight. So I've been in this position my whole life, but you know, is that time when that fight they ask, I give it to them. But right now in this position I am, now is the time I need to ask. If the money is right.
Canelo's silence only pushed Benavidez to speak louder, sparking a wave of bold remarks. In his Inside the Ring interview, when asked about Canelo's reaction, Benavidez didn't hold back. "He's definitely scared of me." He questioned the logic. If a fighter talks trash in public, why not step into the ring, win, and cash in? Benavidez pointed out Canelo's struggles against tougher opponents like Bivol, saying Canelo knows he brings more than speed and power. He brings heart. Showing his own fearlessness, he added, "Facing another great doesn't scare me, because it challenges me and proves who I am as a fighter." Now at his peak and brimming with confidence, Benavidez insists Canelo's chance is gone. "If he could have beaten me, it would have been back then. Now he has no chance."
My presence he's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter, because I know that elevates me and who I am as a boxer.
This wasn't just talk, it was a clear statement of intent. Still, the picture is more complicated, with weight classes and hesitation from other top fighters in play. Benavidez has recently stepped up to light heavyweight, showing both his comfort and hunger in the division. In the interview, when asked if he could still make 168, he was direct. "Honestly, that's behind me. I lost interest in 168 a long time ago." He left no doubt about his focus now. "I feel stronger at 175. I'm chasing bigger challenges. I want Bivol. I'm targeting the top names. I'm even eyeing cruiserweight."
Way back then, because if he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then. And he has no chance of beating me now, especially now. I'm getting all this confidence. I'm stepping into my prime. You know, I'm able to deal with these bigger shows better. You know what I mean? I'm able to thrive in these shows. I'm able to, every time I fight, I'm always winning by a significant amount. You know what I mean? So I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there.
This move changed the narrative around Canelo, hinting that Benavidez might soon leave the very division where Canelo holds all the titles. Adding to the drama, after Crawford's historic win, his trainer Brian McIntyre quickly shut down talk of a fight with Benavidez, saying flatly, "We're not interested in that." That response put Canelo in a rare spot, with fewer excuses to avoid the showdown fans have been demanding.
That says, I am the new guy to carry that torch forward.
Kind of like how when you beat Tyrone Woodley, because you were the guy coming up and Tyrone Woodley was a dominant champion for a long time and you went and you beat the shit out of him. It's the same thing. I'm preparing very hard for this fight whenever it does happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but you know, I stay training, I stay evolving as a fighter. Not only do I want to prove to the fans, but I want to prove to myself that I'm the best in the world. So if the fight comes, you know, good. If it doesn't, it's not the end of my career. And if he doesn't want to give me the opportunity at 168, that's why I'm going up to 175 right now, because I'm not going to wait for nobody either. This fight's going to put me at the #1 contender to fight for the WBC title, and those are going to get unified at 175. So, you know, like I said, dreams always come true. It doesn't matter if somebody else is trying to stop you. You're going to find your own way, and you're going to make your dream.
To be honest with you, man, let Terrence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay.
I lost interest in 168 a long time ago. You know, I mean, I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175. I'm chasing better beef. I'm chasing Bivol. You know, I'm chasing these other bigger. I'm chasing Surdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. You know what I mean? So I've been at 168, but I have no interest in going.
Yet Canelo still appeared to have choices. He's at a pivotal point in his legendary career. With Crawford's win still fresh and a rematch officially ruled out, his calendar is wide open. He has 2 fights left on his contract, and the buzz around his next step is intense. Many analysts agree that Benavidez is the obvious pick, a dangerous contender who has fully earned his chance.
For me to watch Canelo get beat like a rag doll over the ring, it's not that important to me, bro. And that's what's going to happen if you fight David Benavidez. So the only reason that we really interest you is that you have to see that. I don't care to see Canelo get beat up like that. That doesn't really.
I'm not saying he gets beat up, but
I think he gets hammered.
Okay, but look, regardless. So if David Benavidez wins the fight, that's my point. I think David's going to be the next star, and Canelo has to do what great Mexican legends do. They fight the next guy. They all do that. I want that. I think that's important for the legacy of the sport, for the legacy of the Mexican. That's the problem. Why do we have to care more than Canelo, though? But Canelo, you know what Canelo does care about? The green. The green, obviously. The 150, 200 million, he cares.
In life,
there's
everything
200
is
million,
about that
there's
now.
200 million thoughts about caring for that fight now. So, okay, listen, we make that fight. However we make that fight happen, I think it's important for that fight to happen. I really do. I think David Benavidez has that star quality to be the next face of boxing, and beating Canelo.
Still, there's the possibility that Canelo could go for a safer matchup, protecting his record and extending his reign against lower-risk opponents. The boxing world is watching closely to see whether he'll finally accept the real challenge or continue down the easier road.
But you avoid the monster. You understand me? That's going to tank the rest of his career if he keep trying to fight. Well, it's tough to say because he's made enough money that he can retire. He really has nothing else to prove. We saw him go up. He did but he tested himself all the way up as far as he could go. He won the light heavyweight title, then he lost to B-Ball. So that shows us that the light heavyweight was his ceiling. And that's good enough. Really, right now, he got nothing else to prove. You know, I mean, of course, if you keep fighting, people going to demand you fight the monster because both you guys are Mexican. But to me, you probably shouldn't do that. You understand me? It's probably not a good fight for you at this point, for real, especially coming off a loss to Terrence Crawford. It's just, to me, I don't see the hunger there to really beat the monster. You understand me? And that's what my problem was already. I didn't think it was a good fight for him because I don't think the hunger is there. Terrence Crawford just showed us that the hunger is really not there anymore like that. You understand me? So you have to be extraordinarily hungry to go out there and beat the monster because you got to put pressure on him from round 1 to round 12 or it's not going to work. And if you're not hungry, you're not going to do that. Same thing he would have had to do to Terrence Crawford. You had to put pressure on him from round 1 to round, I'm talking about solid pressure, no space between them. He had to be in his chest for 12 rounds, but he ain't hungry enough to really do that. So if you're not hungry enough to do that, don't go waste your time. Just call it a day because everybody gonna want to see you fight the monster. I don't know if they're gonna be cool with you fight anybody else, but they're gonna keep pushing the monster narrative at you. You feel me? Now, if he wants to have a few more fights for himself, that's cool. But then he gonna get it's gonna get very tainted with the fact they're gonna say, yeah, you fighting, but you avoiding the monster. You understand me? That's gonna tank the rest of his career if he keep trying to fight. So it's better for him to just call.
But now, a powerful new player is shaping these big decisions. Turki Al-Sheikh, chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, is transforming the boxing world with huge financial support. With his influence, he hasn't shied away from hinting at major matchups. In one surprising post, he even floated the idea of a super middleweight showdown between Terrence Crawford and David Benavidez, an explosive fight that could completely sidestep Canelo. Saudi Arabia's push for mega events has raised the stakes, with massive rewards on the line. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next one.